Hi, everyone. Dan Eisner here from ZLC Employee Benefits Solutions. My passion is to work hard to find better ways for employee benefits. And I do this by partnering with finance and HR leaders in the market and by leveraging my relatively unique profile. More than 20 years of experience as an employee benefits advisor, and my skills as the only chartered professional accountant working in this industry in the local market. Welcome to another one of my podcasts. So whether you're a finance professional or an HR professional, you might be confused or interested by the title of this podcast. So please bear with me and it'll all hopefully make sense very soon, as I want to make sure I'm speaking the same language as both of you too. As always, I'm going to give you my thoughts, but I'm really interested to know what you think. In particular, do you currently have HR and finance on the same page, speaking the same language when it comes to your employee benefits program? If so, in what way and how often? If not, why not? Also, if you like what you hear and want to learn more, be sure to hit the like button or follow me on my LinkedIn business page to be notified about other podcasts to come. Okay, so let's get started. So it's kind of interesting in society, we've got a proliferation of smartphone apps that it's making it easier and easier to communicate in whatever language you prefer. So do you know the term employee benefits in German, which is my family's native tongue, is Leistungen an Arbeitnehmer? So I used Google Translate to get that because I didn't know it for myself, but I also wanted to see what it was in Greek. But to be honest, I don't understand any of the Greek characters that came up, so I won't even try. So sarcastically, it's all Greek to me, or maybe it's all Greek to you. But in all seriousness, in the world of employee benefits, there still appears to be a language disconnect between finance and HR professionals. And that's based on my personal experience. And I don't believe Google Translate or any smartphone app can help much here. I've seen this disconnect many times before, or perhaps it's more accurate to say I've seen a lack of connection around common objectives regarding employee benefits plans, which ultimately impacts the success of any organization. So my personal observations based on my experience working as an employee benefits advisor for the past 20 plus years, along with being the only CPA working in this field in the local market. This disconnect, it's become more pronounced in the last couple of years, given a growing interest by finance professionals getting involved in managing employee benefit plans. And I really can't blame them. Benefit programs are a growing cost for businesses and now often represent a top 5 corporate expenditure, particularly for service-based organizations. As well, annual inflation for employee benefits programs has been running at levels well above most other corporate expenditures for quite some time. You may recall from a prior podcast that I did that my forecast is for 8% inflation for employee benefits plans for 2023. Clearly, these are very quantitative issues, but they're harder to explain qualitatively sometimes. Now, on the other hand, I believe that HR professionals better understand the role that employee benefits plans play in attracting, retaining, and engaging the key talent that organizations need to execute on their business plans. Let's not forget, the business plan is supported by the people strategy. And that people strategy is supported by things like compensation and benefit strategies. HR professionals know that employee benefits programs consistently rank amongst the top 3 items that prospective employees look for when assessing a job offer. As well, for their existing employees, HR professionals know that employees rate these benefit plans very highly. And also, the vast majority of employees actually feel they are entitled to receive them. So here, these are clearly very qualitative considerations, but they're harder to explain quantitatively. In my opinion, it's difficult, if not impossible, to assess employee benefits plans based purely on quantitative terms. So let's use an example of a company looking to purchase a new machine that is either going to increase production and revenue or reduce costs and therefore improve the bottom line profitability. Relatively straightforward to forecast the improved financial results, compare that to the cost of the machine, and to determine the ROI of that investment relative to the cost of that investment. Okay. However, would you realistically expect, an HR professional to calculate the return on investment for the 5,000, that you spend per year on your employee benefits program? Or let's say HR wanted to add spending accounts onto your traditional employee benefits plan. it's not that easy to simply do the same kind of calculations as you would have done with adding a machine to the mix in your factory operations. So undoubtedly, finance professionals will get frustrated with that type of response. But let's be fair, HR professionals will also get equally frustrated even trying to provide that type of analysis. And the reality is that generally accepted financial metrics that are typically used to justify an investment in an existing or alternative program in a business don't factor in many of the important qualitative aspects that we see around employee benefits plans. Neither finance nor HR are right or wrong. Unfortunately, there's no simple answer in most circumstances, so the is to find that common ground. So while I started my career in the accounting profession many years ago, I've spent the vast majority of my career providing advisory services in the HR fields. And based on my unique experience and skills, I believe that it's increasingly important to have more effective discussions between finance and HR. The best decisions for any organization come about when both finance and HR professionals are actively involved in recognizing the emerging trends for employee benefits, identifying the related risks, developing risk and cost mitigation strategies, and creating strategic alignment with the corporate objectives. While there's no smartphone app yet available, to my knowledge, to translate HR to finance or vice versa, it's important to work with an employee benefits advisor who can most effectively facilitate those discussions between both sides. And the outcomes are most definitely worth it. The result is typically strategic and affordable employee benefits plans that are financially sustainable while also being relevant to employees and therefore relevant to the business strategies. Okay, those are my thoughts and opinions here, but let me know what you think. Was this advice helpful? How does this compare to your current relationship with your current advisor or other advisors that you've worked with in the market? If your advisor isn't facilitating those discussions between HR and finance professionals or isn't effectively facilitating those discussions, why not? Would love to know your thoughts and comments. As well, I'm always interested to know if there are any other current topics that you'd like me to cover in future podcasts. Let me know what's bothering you, keeping you awake at night, or things that you might be interested in around employee benefits. Thanks for joining me today. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel for a notification on the next video podcast, or you can follow me on my LinkedIn business page, Dan Eisner, Employee Benefits Advisor, and all that information will come up on the screen in a second. Thanks so much.